T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I love the cheese on your face. It's super cute. Hi, welcome back to the Midheaven Podcast. My name is Candice Marie. This is my buddy, Mike the Pea Stealer, and we are kind of in between having a taco break, but we're also going to go live with tacos, but we're going to talk about current events. So, welcome back.
Currently, I'm eventing this taco.
This is our mukbang. So you're going to hear like lots of like taco wrappers and stuff. Apparently, Mike has been underneath a rock this week, and wanted to talk to him a little bit about current events,
I only heard about one thing, and I already forgot. So I can't really think of anything that I heard that happened this week or last week.
What have you been doing this week? What have you got going on? How was the full moon for you?
Sleeping some more. Honestly,
This is delicious. It's so good. I never eat fast food. I like dumped Taco Bell into like low carb tortillas. That's how committed I am.
I was wondering, like, what
Yeah,
was
these are low
that?
carb tortillas. I don't eat carbs.
Really?
Yeah, but I will suck the shit out of the insides of a Taco Bell taco. So.
They're good. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've been doing a lot of introspection, reflection, and by that, it's literally just like getting stoned and having full-on conversations with myself about any and everything. They've been
I was going to say,
amazing.
when you walked in, you smelled like weed. Did you smoke out before you came in here?
So I
Yeah,
can
you
get
did.
the munchies.
Yeah. Oh, so because you knew that I was going to feed you.
I didn't eat anything.
I texted him earlier, and I was like, don't eat anything.
And then I
We're
got
going to
the
have a mukbang.
I had to come prepared. So
I'm proud of you.
thank you.
You got back on the train.
I've been actually. It's interesting. I took advantage of, because Libra's my 6th. Took advantage of Virgo season so I can like reintegrate my lifestyle, my career. I've been kind of like cutting out the chaff, integrating, perfecting. Let's just say, and I'm ready to hit that end of 2021.
This is good. The aspects, like Mars is moving into your 6th, and it's trining your sun. And did you get a trainer?
No, because, well, I'm actually working with I got a week of yoga, so I'm actually working with like a yoga instructor.
Where are you doing that?
It's over Zoom.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want a trainer because I'm lazy as fuck, and if I have a trainer, then when I do my workouts, I can't be lazy and like quit before you're supposed to like feel the burn. If I had a trainer, I had to actually feel the burn. But I don't want to do that, so I can be lazy with my workouts if I work out on my own.
2 things. One is I really want to start going to Kundalini yoga.
I want to do that too.
Okay, we should go together. There's a place over here that, like,
Really?
literally, like, oh, I know you're not on this side of town, but we should go. Maybe that would be a fun episode.
I learned with 6th house Libra, I have to do it with somebody or I'll
Yeah,
be
the
so
Libra
fixed in
rising.
Taurus.
We could do
Oh,
that.
that makes so much sense.
Yeah, there's like a place over here that is like really cool, and they do all kinds of stuff like that. That could be fun. But
2 days
also,
of yoga taught me that I actually hate yoga. I thought I liked it.
I love yoga. Once I get into
I'm
it,
so
other than people
inflexible.
farting, like the farting is, I
That's
can't.
a thing?
I'm from LA.
Oh my
okay?
God.
Like lots of yoga studios, lots of dirty vegan farts.
It's not even that I hate yoga. It's that I'm so inflexible. I can't even maintain a lotus. Like being
It's
comfortable,
so good
being
for you
uncomfortable.
though. Being a cat moon,
I need it.
you need it.
Yeah. I need
Okay,
yoga.
let's do it. We'll do it. 2 is if you have a recommendation for a trainer, I will take it. I need like a mean, big black trainer that will just like punish me.
I mean, he's
and,
black
like,
on the inside.
come over and slap the chicken strips out of my hands.
I think I know just who.
I need like a punisher.
Shout out to Spiritual Bodybuilder. I don't know.
I really
if
do.
he's
I'm
out
getting
here,
married
but
in 2 months, and I feel like I need to get my shit together.
I can hook you up with him.
Okay.
He's your dude.
All
He's your
right.
dude.
As I eat tacos and cry about my first world problems.
I love it.
Cheers. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about some stuff that I found interesting in the news this week since you've been under a rock. I'll talk about it. Let's talk about France being upset that the UK and the US approached Australia and have a secret deal that they're doing to contractually provide nuclear submarines for Australia, and they basically kind of like secretly screwed France over and got out of a 5-year deal that was literally about them supplying Australia with nuclear submarines. Number one, why the fuck do we need nuclear submarines?
Sacre bleu.
Number two,
Damn.
why is France making them and not America? And number three, why does Australia need these?
And number 4, Europe and America are just still shady as ever, like Australia. I know
What's
you
going
gotta
on
deal
with
with
this Pluto
France.
return? Like,
But
is,
fuck France, man.
Is like
Just
the UK
make money with us,
and
dude.
America coming back together?
That's crazy.
Is that what's happening? Is this the Pluto return?
That's
Are they
crazy.
banding together?
It's even better because like France and the UK throughout history have always had a beef. So like for that to just be like,
Well, the food's better in France, but
oh, thank you. I need to go check that out then.
stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese in France?
Stinky cheese in France.
Sticky
and wine.
cheese.
Stinky.
Stinky. Stinky cheese and
Stinky.
wine.
Yeah, the food in the UK is like, outside of the Indian food I had in London, it was like, meh. I mean, I had
So
some
the
good
Indian
food
food
in
in
Ireland.
London is good.
Yes, I had a grand time in the market in London. Apparently, you can like walk around and like drink wine out of a bottle and buy expensive cheese. I like was living my
In
most
France?
caucastic dreams. You can do that in France too, but I was doing that in the UK. Apparently, that's frowned upon here in the States. Although
We're so
also in the
backwards
news-
over here.
Also in the news, Target's talking about putting bars in their stores, which is a big fucking deal because usually I go to Target and I get a Starbucks and I'm like, this'll do. But if I go to Starbucks,
bars? Okay, you know what's crazy about what you just said? I just went to Target today. And the thing that stuck out to me going to Target today was that there was a Starbucks. And it's like, oh.
do you live under a rock? It's like, there's always a Starbucks.
The last time I was there, I had Starbucks, and I'm like, I've been sleeping on Starbucks.
What'd
like,
you get? What's your drink? Like a caramel frappuccino?
it was one of those, but
it was
like,
one of those,
we're not gonna let white girls take over Starbucks. Like, I feel like I
There is a huge
awakened
difference
to
between...
a treasure here. Like, now I know why y'all love.
There's a
like,
huge
everyone.
difference between Starbucks that you find in a Starbucks where everything is like clean and quick and efficient, and the Starbucks that you find in a grocery store and at a Target where these people are dirty and gross and they're
my
on their own
God.
schedule and they take an hour to make your drink and they don't give a fuck.
So they don't keep the same staff there.
Yeah, but you got like, okay, so you got like Target that has Starbucks and Walmart that has McDonald's, right? So it just kind of shows you the kind of caliber of people who show up and shop at some of these places. Hold on a second.
Oh my God, that is so true.
Not that there's anything wrong
Versus
with
a
Walmart.
professional barista.
Walmart has
Honestly,
its place occasionally. It does.
but just the convenience of being able to get a double cheeseburger, you don't.
Are you gonna
need
walk around
from
Walmart with a
Walmart.
double cheeseburger though? You just bought like all of the Ito's family, probably a case of Coors Light. Okay, I'm reading notes here from production.
So you're
Don't
saying
talk
that-
shit about the Costco $1 hot dogs. Those are the best fucking
Bud
hot dogs.
Light!
They're
Bud
delicious.
Light!
So is the pizza at Costco. I love
Oh,
it.
that's a tradition. Going shopping at Costco and then getting pizza coming out. That's it right there.
I hit it on the way in and the way out. I don't give a fuck.
Ooh.
There's no shame.
So you're saying that I potentially can go to Target and then chill at a bar?
I feel like they're gonna start doing this probably in like LA or like Seattle. I don't know where, but I saw it. And
Live performances at
and-
Target. You going to that party at Target, dude?
what'd you get at Target? I went to sushi. I went to all you can eat sushi, which you still haven't gone with me to. I went to all you can eat sushi the other night. I had 3 glasses of wine.
Ooh.
I had sushi, and then I was like, let's go to Target. And I like drug my fiance there. Favorite thing ever, drinking and go to
Oh
Target.
my God.
So we go in there, and what do I get? A box of wine and dog treats. And then we come home, and I wake up the next day, and I'm like, why is there like a box of wine and a mini carton of wine and dog treats? Like I went and bought dog treats and wine. But I feel like adding alcohol to Target would enhance the entire experience for me.
You have to understand, I initially thought you said that you drugged your fiance.
I mean, sometimes if he's
Target.
lucky.
That was a lot to process.
Sometimes
right
he's
there.
not a big a drug person, but occasionally I'll get him on a vape pen that'll send him on a good one.
Ooh.
But he just ends up, he's got like all Taurus Cancer placements. So I'll be like, are you awake? And he's like he's out. He's unconscious. It's cute. Okay, so back to France because they're pissed. So France is angry that the U.S. had some shady business deal with Australia and the UK, and somehow, you know, they're now going to be selling
France,
nuclear submarines. They're always pissed about something.
Wow.
Right?
It's an outrage. That's gonna sour trade relations.
I hope they like. Can we have like a clip of like
forward.
Pepe Le Pew here? What's like an angry French person? I don't know.
That's a lot of money they lost too.
Right, but it makes you wonder what's going on. Why is there an alliance building between Australia, the UK, and America? France is gonna get pissed off. Like, I don't need wine prices to go up any more than they have. Okay, I don't, please. And then secondly, why was it a silent deal? What's like what is so silent? Apparently,
hey, yo, Australia, can I talk to you?
They're pulling all of their diplomats from I don't know if it's America, but I think Australia and also the UK. Yes, Italian wine is better than French wine, but the import is more on it because France wants to sell to us. The Italians, they have so many tourists. I don't know.
Oh
the
my
difference.
God.
I don't know the difference. I just drink wine. I drink box wine. I'm trash. So now the British Prime Minister is meeting with Biden as we speak. And there's all this like, oh, all this stuff's going on. But then Biden came out this evening and was like talking down like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like there isn't, you know, going to be something. But they're talking about Biden coming out saying like, hey, let's all get along amidst tensions with what's happening. And there's some talk about a treaty, which is kind of, or a trade treaty, which is interesting considering like our relations with the rest of the world has been shit since Trump.
Well, you know what? I just found out recently the DACA program or the Dreamers program, they confronted Nancy Pelosi and didn't even let her speak. Like they drowned her out and basically just aired out her not her dirty laundry, but basically just called them out for not really doing what they said they were going to do. Which is interesting because there was that initial support.
So they're denying like Dreamers' rights?
It's not that they're denying the rights. It's that people are coming up and saying, hey, you promised us A, B, C, D, and E, and where's A? So it's just like it's a video of her trying to silence like a whole room of people, and they're just like drowning her out. And she had to actually leave because, you know, they were going in.
So I saw also all kinds of like crazy riots and things going on in Australia. That's been happening. It's been happening all over France, Australia, protests, right? You know, Germany, whatever. But there was a huge earthquake that just happened in Melbourne. I think it was either yesterday or today, which is kind of crazy because you've got the protests, you've got all this weirdness going on with the lockdowns. You know, we talked a little bit about in past episodes, like the fact that everything's shut down, and now there's an earthquake.
Hard? No, I was joking.
You know, the Uranus squares are starting up
in Australia, though?
In Melbourne. Yeah, in Melbourne.
That's quite the coincidence.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where there's a revolution that's brewing?
Right.
We're not seeing this stuff on our news. We've talked about this before. But I think that that's like a little spooky.
I think Melbourne's like, pay attention to me.
I mean, some of the shit we're hearing about Australia is pretty crazy.
No, but it is like out of every place. How frequent are earthquakes? I don't know.
I haven't really heard anything about that. But what I think is really weird is like, and we've talked about this before, but just so you guys know, those of you guys who are international, we have like lots of international followers and stuff. Like the extent of what we're seeing in our news is like what's happening with a hurricane or what's happening with sports or what's happening with this or with that. Like we're not really hearing or seeing a lot of what's happening in the rest of the world where there's like protests and like riots and other things that have been happening. So it's, for me, it's always interesting to hear this because I'm like, why are we not
defunct governments?
Why are we not
there's a whole
this?
war in Afghanistan still developing where people are fighting from their territory being taken over, and
a lot of people are really upset with Biden because I think they thought that when Biden came into office that there was going to be more peace and, you know, more stability, and then he comes in and, you know, now he's, I think, more so willing to negotiate trade deals, and now he's more so willing to like talk and discuss about getting us out of Afghanistan. It was inevitable. Inevitably, we had to do that at some point. That was going to happen. It was just who's going to be the fall guy, right?
He said he was going to forgive our student loans and then told us we don't apply for them because you're not handicapped. He lied.
Do you have to be handicapped to get a student loan?
Yes. It's an okie doke. They threw out some arbitrary number. He's forgiven $10 billion until you realize there's billions upon billions of dollars of loans.
Well, yeah, I mean, that started in the 70s when they started really pushing college and college education and all this fucking shit, and then everybody went into debt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting an education, that's what I'm saying, but the fact that it became basically a money-making scheme just to get people deeper and deeper into debt. I mean, I have friends that'll talk about, I've been paying off my student loans for 10 years, and I have been paying consistently for 10 years, and I still owe the same amount as the loan that I took out. There's something fundamentally wrong with that
evil.
System, right?
So horrible.
And equally, the fact that we're living now in a time economically where businesses want like 8 years experience and a college degree, and then they want you to work for fucking $16 an hour. Literally. That's what's happening. We aren't aware. I mean, we're aware of that, but we haven't been in that for the last couple of years. I think about 5 to 8 years ago when I made the decision to be like, fuck this, I'm going to work for myself. I'm not working for other people. That was it for me, because I was just like, if I'm going to work really hard, I'm going to work hard for myself. Right?
No, it's been definitely a game changer. And something I think about too, like, wow, if I listened to everyone around me at the time, then I probably would have to be showing a passport just to get hired. But these are things I don't have to worry about.
Right. That's a good point. I mean, I hear a lot of people I'm not an attorney. I'm not here to give legal advice or anything, but I definitely feel like I do my fair share of reading up on what your rights are as an individual. And I have a lot of clients that have been coming to me recently what do I do? They're pressuring me to get vaccinated. I don't want to get vaccinated. How do I handle it? I'm really simple. You just don't resign.
Well, we need to study Rand Paul's chart, because Rand Paul confronted Dr. Fauci. He's not someone off of YouTube.
Right.
He's a doctor. He's in government. He's a senator, I believe. And, he's telling people that they can't arrest you all. So he's actively encouraging people not to give in to these mandates, which really blows my mind, because he literally has Saturn 10 degrees. So he's going through a Saturn return.
Yeah.
Next year is a Jupiter return. So it's not necessarily someone on YouTube that's just peddling theories. This is an actual medical professional who's in the government, who has intel, who's telling you, hey, from the inside, you know what I'm saying? Don't listen to these people.
What's been spookiest to me is the stuff that's come out recently in the last week or so with that account that you sent me that was the nurses, asking questions about being what's going on? Why are patients having the response they're having to vaccines? Why is there not a lot of trials? Why, we've been giving these vaccines for over a year. Why do we not have trials coming out? And for me personally, to see audio and video of nurses having these conversations is kind of fuck. And I saw this whole thing about what happened in Arizona and how that video came out, I guess, connected to a health facility in Arizona. And then I think it was I don't know if it was the senator or the governor that came out and was if this happened, this needs to be investigated. I'm not saying it's true or false. I'm just saying that it's fascinating to me that now with all these building energies in the skies right now with Mercury square Pluto, there's a lot of people who want to get truths out there. And equally, Pluto can be manipulative, and it can play its own story if it really wanted to. But
which, as far as information all coming out, it's all going to happen next year, because the action was last year. This year is all the intensity and the depth of it, and then boom, Jupiter Pisces. It's going to be the final piece of the puzzle. We're going to figure out what's been happening, what's happened. Final perspective. Bam, bam, biggie, boom. Saturn's going to go through.
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of time. I mean, I think about also next year with Saturn coming into a square with the nodes. Right, in Aquarius, so it's controlled, orchestrated chaos, and then North Node conjunct Uranus. 2022 is going to be a year for the books. It's going to be a big revolutionary war. And we're finally coming into, at the end of this year, our final Saturn-Uranus square, which I think the third one is going to be the big one. Right around Christmas and the Venus retrograde, we're going to find out this big unveiling about the future of at least America's economics.
True that.
Yeah.
And you know what? It would be after the Pluto return. So it's definitely going to
Well, Mars and Venus and Pluto will all meet conjunct America's South Node. I think it's like February, maybe going into March. If you want a video on that, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I did a whole video on America's Pluto return. Check out my video.
Nice.
But that's definitely going to be something that we're going to see play out in a very big way. And I guess the question really is what are we doing, at least in this country, to incentivize and get people back to where they're feeling like they can actually live the American dream, right? We're living in a world where it's like maybe 30, 40 years ago, like, you know, our parents, like, they could go to school, they could afford that, they could buy houses, they could do things. But when you look at what's happened with inflation and just like the cost of living and how everything's gone up, like, we don't live in that world anymore. The wealth inequality and the divide is so extreme, and we see people who are quickly moving out of the middle class, and we see such a divide, I guess, that it's like quickly becoming this scenario in the Matrix where it's just like we're just like serving other people. It's fucked.
No, it's gonna get even more fucked because this is all the unveiling of this apocalypse, which is unveiling. So I'm excited. I think it's
Such a Cat Moon thing to say. It's like, bring it.
My
Bring it to
moon
the
is
world.
like literally there. Like I got the inside scoop on like everything. It's amazing, but it's also terrifying. Not for me, but just for everybody. And it is what it is because there's a twist coming here, coming into next year. It's gonna be the most epic twist of all time that no one can see coming. It's not anything you could expect, and honestly, it's just helping me to just surrender.
Have you followed the Gabby Petito case? You know anything about the girl who was like the TikTok van influencer, the girl who has been traveling and making vlogs and all of this stuff, and she had like a fiance, and then she like mysteriously went missing? Okay. So, I mean, I followed it off and on. Like, I followed it for a while, and then I was like, oh, that's really sad. But then people kept talking about it, and, like, in a lot of astrology forums, people were posting, talking about her chart and her birthday, and she's, like, a late degree Pisces, and I think she's got Pluto in Sag, from what I remember, but she's a late degree Pisces. And
Pluto Sag.
she has a partner who was, I think, born in 83 or 84, who's a Cancer. And born, I think, like July 3rd, 83 or 84. I was looking at his chart earlier. Anyway, so there was like an altercation they had, apparently. You know, the cops got involved and like stopped and talked to her, and she was erratic. And I guess they had a bunch of conflict, and then they like, you know, took space. And then the officers were like, okay, you know, good luck with everything. And then mysteriously, she's supposed to be home. He goes back home to Florida, I believe, and then she goes missing. And then her family calls her in and like reports her missing. So I'm looking at all these astrology forums, and people are like, where's Gabby? Like, can we find Gabby? Because I'm like really, you know, learning and getting big into horary, which can be really insightful for like missing people. Although I go back and forth, like, you know, my teacher is a lot of like, well, you take this oath and you don't speculate and you don't get involved. So like, I never said anything about it ever. I didn't post anything.
That's awesome that you have to take an oath. And be
You
like,
haven't seen the astrologer's oath?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna read it to you.
There's an
Okay.
astrologer's oath?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'm not an astrologer then. I've just been reading astrology my whole career. That's
Legally
crazy.
reading astrology.
Oh,
but
shit.
basically, like, I remember I was talking to my fiance about it, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, did you hear about it? And he's like, yeah. And I like pulled up her birthday, and of course she's like a 28 degree Pisces sun. And I was like,
28?
yeah. And this was a couple days ago, and I was like, if they're gonna find her, they're gonna find her dead.
Oh.
And I didn't say this publicly because I didn't want to put it out there. Obviously, I was just hoping to be optimistic because it's horrible, but I was like, she's going to be found dead, you know, maybe near water or maybe on somebody's property or on some kind of like land or something, you know. And then I was talking to him about it earlier, and he's like, yeah, well, she was found in Wyoming. And I was like, what? So she's found. Now they've like they found her remains. They're looking at her remains. They determined that it was a homicide. And now there's like a manhunt looking for this Cancer sun
Uh-oh.
with I want to say, I don't know if it's his sun or his Mercury in like 24 degrees
Cancer?
of
Or
Cancer.
Gemini? Oh, Cancer, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, opposite Pluto. That's crazy because, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Cancer is the zodiac sign that has the highest percentage of murders committed by passion. So you have like...
I mean, apparently, I don't know what happened. I'm just going off of like random headlines, but they did have like an altercation and there was like a tiff and like she like apparently hit him. Like whatever. There's no excuse, obviously. But then he goes missing and nobody can find him. It's just not a good situation. Then I was looking at the squares and the different aspects of his chart.
And specifically not like premeditated
they ruled
murder.
it homicide.
For her murder, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I was gonna say like for the distinction with Cancer, it's not like they're the most for premeditated murders, but like crimes of passion, like
who would
in
be the
moment.
most premeditated murders? Sagittarius?
No.
Pisces?
I would think Aquarius or Scorpio.
I could totally hide a body if I wanted to.
That's the thing. Like, so you see how the mutable signs showed up for serial killers?
Yeah.
Well, like, Scorpio is not getting caught. Aquarius is not getting caught. Taurus and Capricorn are not getting caught. Unless the Taurus is like...
So she was born March 19th, 1999. So the full moon was conjunct her sun. And then his birthday... I just had it. His
Brian
birthday...
Landy. Damn.
Yeah.
You already got a page on it.
I was looking at it earlier because I was like, I don't want to speculate because I'm not going to speculate. But I feel the need to kind of be like, look, if some shit's going to go down...
97?
See, some people are saying November 18th, 97.
Or some say 84.
And some are saying 84. So I like I said, once again, I'm not gonna speculate. But they were engaged apparently. No, it says right here. July 3rd, 1984.
Right.
So if that's the case.
So that means he definitely has Uranus or he definitely has Neptune and Sag.
Of course, my software is like, nope. I feel like it's like the universe's way of being like, don't touch this. Hold on.
Speculate.
I'm not gonna speculate, but
I didn't take the oath. Hold on.
I just want to see. I want to see like when it is because I remember looking at it being like, whoa, look at the aspects to Pluto. July 3rd. So he was like around 15 years older than her. Okay, so July 3rd, 1984. Sun at 11 degrees of Cancer, Mercury at 23, square Chiron, but also square Pluto in Libra.
Damn.
And Neptune's on his Lilith right now at 22 degrees.
Yeah, he going through a Pluto square. It's over for him. Respectfully. But damn. Oh, and then Uranus opposite the Mars.
I feel like if he's alive, I will say that, if he's alive.
Right.
Then there's going to be an absolute insane unearthing of a lot of this information and what happened and like piecing things together because he was like telling me like, well, things don't make sense. Like they claimed that she was found in Wyoming, but there was text messages saying that they were somewhere else. Like there's things that aren't really making sense. And
and he had a nodal return. I feel like if he really does have 29 degrees Neptune Sag, he'll get away with it. If he's still alive.
Will he though?
If he's still alive.
Why are you gonna go missing if I mean?
No, it's stacked against him.
But also Pluto is in
sure.
opposition
There's no
to
way.
his Mercury, and Mercury is in a square with his natal Mercury. People are looking for him, and I think maybe he's panicking because he realizes people are looking for him. And the question is he going to be found or is he going to kill himself?
Oh, he did that shit. But like.
Well, I mean. Mars and
Mars,
Scorpio,
Saturn. Damn. Oh.
And Uranus is in opposition to that.
I wonder what she did. That would have been crazy.
I mean, there's really, like I said, I'm not going to speculate. Let me pull up the astrologers. Right. I want to show you the astrologers because I've been, reading it, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I've never taken an oath. I guess maybe I have when I went to jury duty. That's an oath, right?
Before or the action of it? Like
you have to take an oath when you do jury duty that you're gonna basically hear everything, right? Don't you?
I've never been in jury duty before.
Here's the astrologer's oath. Ready? Shit. The infinity of the sky has cohesion. The astral plane reveals a logic to which Nature fully resonates and aligns. If few are initiated in this art of interpretation of celestial science with existential meaning, I am one. I recognize the privilege and responsibility to serve humanity as an astrologer, be the channel between above and below, remain grounded, clear of prejudice, open-hearted, respectfully, gracefully, truthfully. I pledge to assist those who seek higher guidance. No, I take that back. Direct them to the space, the time, and the way, as depicted by the map of the geo-cosmic cycles. I will enlighten them to the perspective that desperate trials and tribulations, their lives, and intrinsic to an intelligent cosmic order. These suggestions shall be made to the best of my humble understanding, whether venerated or depreciated publicly in this task. I shall not falter, aware of the merit of the honorable calling. By the Organization of Professional Astrologers. That's literally what this says.
Wakanda forever.
What is it they say when what is it, live long and prosper? I feel like that's what we should be saying.
You know what
Some Star Trek shit.
You know what that symbol is now? Trans-vaccinated. That's the official symbol.
What does that mean? Trans-vaccinated.
Oh,
You've been given all three?
No, I identify as a vaccinated person. So technically,
we're a hot commodity, us unvaccinated beings over here.
I'm vaccinated. I actually identify as being vaccinated. I'm not unvaccinated.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't necessarily gotten a traditional one, but I can identify with one, just like I can identify with being a woman.
I identify with being vaccinated. I had vaccines like 14 years ago.
I got the Tdap shot a while ago for tetanus when I had to go back to college, so I'm technically vaccinated.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you can take an oath like that?
Yes, in front of all of the personal planets as they grill me with Saturn officiating it.
Trying to think if I have anything else that's like really, I mean, I don't really have anything else. I'm trying to think of anything else that came up in the news that really piqued my interest. I'm following the Biden stuff. I'm upset that girl died because that's terrible. I want to see what's going to happen, although I think it's going to take till December to pan out.
Scorpio season for sure. Reveal some goodies. I can't wait for Scorpio season.
Reveal some bodies.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, you're excited for Scorpio season?
Yeah.
Did I tell you that the day that I'm getting married is when the sun opposes Uranus?
Is the moon going to be in Neptune? What?
I was like, fuck. Yeah, and the moon's going to be in Pisces.
Moon's going to be better.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it trines Mars in Scorpio, and Mars and Venus sextile each other. So I'm like, that's that sweet spot that before everything gets like really crazy. So it'll be good. I mean, a moon in Pisces is definitely going to be an open bar for sure. So
It's going to be awesome. Divine, actually. Congrats.
help me introduce you to some single ladies.
Oh, shoot. I mean, I'm not
You're going to be the token
complaining
black
about
guy
that
at my
at all.
wedding, so I hope you like white meat.
Oh,
I
I
hope
mean,
you like white meat.
I will open my horizons to new
At
experiences.
least you know they. At least you know that they're going to be, I don't know, open-minded if they're my friend.
Word. That's really good to know. I have some time to train before then.
Yeah, get physically fit before I set you
Yeah.
up. All my single friends are like, "Oh, introduce me to your single guy friends," and I'm like, count how many are going to be there in one hand. So the odds are in your favor.
Ooh, that's what's
Everybody
up.
loves the wedding.
Become fresh. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so is there anything else that we want to cover for this week?
Mm.
I think we have to head off to our live and do our live pretty soon and give the kids what they want. So we might do that. If you guys have any ideas for any content, any shows, anything you want to know about, leave us a comment below. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, click the bell button. Also, we have a community tab that I check pretty frequently where we asked you guys what you would be interested in us talking about. We have definitely done a lot of those videos. Mike and I are going to start talking about doing some series about some other stuff and talking about some stuff. And I've had some mutual clients that we have that have been asking about, like, are you guys going to teach or, like, lecture? So maybe we can do that soon.
Yeah, it's going to be intensive, but awesome. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. Obviously, this episode is brought to you by Coors Light and Taco Bell. If you want to subscribe to our channel, you make these videos possible. You contribute to our production costs, our beer fund, our taco fund, and all the extra things that we like to do for fun. We've got some fun stuff planned, hopefully for the rest of the year for you guys. So by contributing, you make that possible. Thank you very much, and we will see all of you guys very soon. Take care.